Hi, it's Kathy Schmitt, the Backyard Stamper, and today I have a Wowza card to show you. I've posted it on Facebook and I promised I'd do a video, so I hope that you've got some time to spend with me tonight. We are going to make this tower card, and it stands up, it's three-dimensional, and it has the different sections that you can flip. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. And the whole card was made with Crafting With You. And the Crafting With You is a bundle in our new catalog, and it comes with 21 dies. It's amazing. Let me show you where it is on the catalog. This is our 23-24 catalog, and it runs from May 1st, 2023 until April 30th, 2024. And if you need a catalog, please let me know. I'll be happy to send you one. The Crafting With You bundle is on page 91. Take that off and show you. And it has, like I said, 21 dies. Some of them are, there's not a stamp for. One of them is this paper trimmer. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, you guys. And the scissors, you guys are in for a treat tonight. All right, so let me get started. Now, there are a lot of bits and bobs in this card. And I'm making 20 of them for a swap. So when you get done watching, you're gonna say, I'm crazy. The colors that I'm using are Misty Moonlight, Melon Mambo, Pecan Pie, Parakeet Party, and Night of Navy. I also used just a few blends, and you can use any color you want. There's no rhyme or reason. I just chose these colors. And I'll show you how I use those in just a second. All right, so here are all the bits and bobs that it takes to make this card. And you can take a screenshot if you'd like. I'll hold it up close by so you can see. This is Countryside Inn DSP, and we need 4 that are 4 inches by 2.5 inches. We also need, from the same DSP, 4 strips that are 4 by 1.5. We need 1 piece that is 4.5 by 4.25, and you score it on the 4.5 side at 1/2 inch, 1, 2, and 3. And then I've got this little scrap. It's 2 3/4 by 1, and these little scraps 1.5 by 1 and 1/4 inch strip. And you will see why I need these little scraps. And 1 3/8 by 2. And this is going to be the inside of my paper trimmer. This here is just a little teeny tiny scrap. It's 1 by 3/4, and that just goes under the scissors. And the reason is because the scissors had dark handle and it blended into my dark background. So if you don't have dark paper and dark scissors, then you probably won't need that. Okay, so that's all for the Countryside. Now the rest of the cardstock, I used Misty Moonlight, and this is for the easel, 4 by 3.5. I need 4 basic whites, and they are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And this is really a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of paper, or cardstock, I mean. And if you cut in half and then in half again on each side, you get 4 equal pieces that are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So that uses your paper wisely. Smoky slate I used for my paper trimmer and my scissors, and this is a 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I've got boho blue scrap 1 1/2 by 2, and that's for the spools of thread and buttons. Night of navy scrap 1 1/2 by 2, that's for my scissors. And this 4 by 1 3/8 basic white is for my punch tag. This piece of basic white is 1 5/8 by 2 1/4, and that's for the canvas on my easel. This petal pink is 1 3/4 by 2 1/2, and that's for one of my baskets. And this is a 1/4 sheet of crumb cake, and from this I did the sewing table, a basket, the embroidery hoop, and 4 spools of thread. And I'm going to take you through all of that. And then the last piece here is a 1/4 sheet of basic white. And on this, I stamped the sewing machine, the embroidery hoop words, the words that go inside a stitch circle, some yarn, the paint brushes, and the basket, some flowers, and I used a little corner for the ribbon on the spool. So this is what I mean on this 1/4 sheet. So I took and stamped each thing. Let me set that down so it's not so wobbly. Night of navy for the sewing machine, melon mambo for the flowers, misty moonlight for the yarn and basket. All the sentiments was misty moonlight, so I've got sending you a handmade hug, and with that I cut the embroidery circles and stamped that. With love is a banner, and what I did was I just cut half of my banner from the stitched stylish shapes. So that goes right here. And this is from Stylish Shapes too. That is a circle stamped with You Inspire Me. And I've got that one. Well, it's right here. And, oh, it's right here. So that's on your white paper. And this is the ribbon for the spool of thread. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's cut out, when it gets closer. But you get 2 of those. So I just left one showing. Now I didn't attach this because I wanted to just show you something. When you stamp your paintbrush, the whole thing, I used pecan pie. So the whole thing came out with a lot of brown. This brush was brown and everything. So what I did, and I'll show you this, is I have my stamp. And you know what? Let me take away some of my stuff here. I don't want to lose anything. You know me, I've lost it before right on my table. And let me put these all away. I need these 4. I need these 4. And this 4. The rest of it I already have done for you. I just wanted to show you the measurements of the pieces. Like I said, 1,000 bits and bobs here necessary, but you know what? When you make a masterpiece, it's worth it. Okay, so I'm going to leave those there for a minute, but let me show you the paintbrush. So with my pecan pie, I inked it up, and then honestly, I took a little wipe and I wiped off the brushes. And then I went to my paper. So you can see it didn't clearly stamp, and that's okay, because what I did was used my blends, and this is where you can use your own color blends. Here's my card. So what I did was I have some pinks and blues and parakeet. So this is like a dark flirty flamingo, and I finished filling in the shapes, and I actually went a little bit bigger than the outline. You can just barely see the outline. So I did this and colored like that. Yellow was just one of the brushes. And I did 2 greens. There. And then what I did was I finished coloring in the brush with my pecan pie, only the bottom of the brushes. So it has a little more definition. And then I took some Pool Party and I just did the top. Okay, so that's how I did it. Now, when you place your die on, that's going to cut out all, and it will cut out the extra brush marks. So here's my brush that I colored in and everything. And then when I cut my die out, it makes my brushes. So I just wanted to show you that tip. And we'll put together the card, and I have most of the stamping, like 90% of the stamping done for you. So it's just really to show you how to put it together. All right, so let me move this until we need it for stamping. So the first thing we're going to do is, you've got your piece that you have to score, the 4.5 by 4 1/4. And so the 1/2 inch, it becomes your tab for your adhesive. So let me get out my liquid glue, and the outside doesn't show. So you can use any DSP that you have left over in your stash. You really barely see the inside. It's dark, so, but it's the striped blue. And this is another design from that Countryside Inn. So that's the basic shape that's going to hold our tower. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the, I'll let you look at that. I'm going to take my 4 pieces, and I'm going to put this on first. So I'm going to just make my background. I'll put them on all of them. And I just cut this at 4 inches. What did I say it was? That piece is 4 by 2.5. So it's a 1/4 inch smaller than the white. And the 4 inch part makes it more economical to do. I would have liked to have like only 1/8 inch margin, but then I would have been 4 1/8, and then you don't get the volume out of your cardstock. Okay, so I've got those. I've got this one, just one more. All right, so now I've got those, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach each piece of white right to the edge of my square side. So I'm going to put the glue on here. Oh, there. And the liquid glue is the easiest thing to use for this so that you can slide it. And I find that if I, oh, let me get my glue mat here. If I lay my piece down and I can slide that right in so I can see that it is lined up top to bottom and on the side. There. So one side's done. Then I'm going to open it and I'm going to do the next side. So I put my glue on, take my white, and I'm going to go butt it right up to the edge. And then I'm going to open it and keep turning it. And you can see that you want to make sure your pieces are lined up. There, that one I straightened out. See, the liquid glue lets you have that little bit of ability to move it if you need to. So I'm going to do that one. Just look at that. That looks good. So far, so good. And then we're going to open the last side. It really comes together pretty easily. I mean, what makes this card hard is all the bits and bobs. And I mean, I didn't need to go quite that crazy with them, but I would, like I said, I was doing it for a swap, and an event in June that I'm going to go to. So I just wanted to make something extra special. So there's the beginning of my tower card. Now we're going to put these strips on the opposite, on this side here. Sorry. Let me get those out of the way. We don't need those rattling. There. And put that down. And again, it's just 1/4 of an inch smaller. And you know what? I'm going to put my contact information here again, just so if you need to email me, if you'd like a catalog, or if you want to purchase this bundle and make your own tower card, or any card really with this. I'll show you some other samples I've made with the countryside in paper. And let's see, 2 more. I've been using the countryside in paper with the daisy set, and it really looks great with that. Cheerful daisies make me happy. Okay, 1 more. All right. Now, what you want to do is decide, I'm going to look and see if I can see where my seam was. And you know what? I can't really see it. Oh, it's right there. So I'm going to pick, let's see here. I'm going to make this my last page here. It's actually a little bit crooked, so that's okay. And so if that's my last page, this is my first page. So on this one, my first page was the sewing machine. So here's what I did. I took the easel and my sewing machine, a piece, this is where I had a scrap, a little button scrap, and a little fabric or paper scrap that I made into fabric. So I did that, and then what I did was I snipped right here and then up close to the needle. It gives me a little space, and then I put some glue on this tab that's going to fold to the back and a little bit on the front. And I just slid this piece where it looks like the needle is sewing my strip and my button. And then for the easel, or the sewing table, I took the easel and I just chopped off. Just like that. Nothing fancy, I just did it right across. Let's move that, we'll glue this on. And there's our sewing machine on its table. Without the table, the sewing machine was like floating in the air, so it looked kind of funny, so I wanted to ground it. So I'm going to go ahead and add glue to that. And this is where you really want to be careful with your gluing, because if you get any that oozes out, you really got to take care of it. So otherwise, when you're flipping your tower card, it's going to show. There. And then I put a little dimensional right under there just to keep the fabric from, I don't know, make it look like it's a piece of fabric, I guess. I just didn't want it like up in the air. So there, see, it's got a little dimension there. Isn't that neat? All right, so on this side, I have my basket of spools of thread. So here they are. And what I did was I had like my spool of thread right there. And then these little pieces here are that ribbon look that I showed you. And so you just, you know, that makes it look like white thread and blue thread, and then I got some empty. So that's pretty neat. And then that one is, that's got dimensionals on it. So I don't have a lot of dimensionals because it will make your card not fold right. And this will go into a regular size envelope. So I have my basket right there. And then I just had some empty spools. Let me see where I put them. I'll get one right here. And see, I have all my pieces ready for my swap. I mean, so I can do assembly line. So I've got a couple extra of those. And I just put a little tiny bit of glue and laid one there. And this one is going to cover up that little spot on the bottom where my spool isn't cut exactly right. There. There you have it. Sewing machine. Oh, and I need my little tag. And like I said, I used the Stitch So Stylish banner, and I stamped on 1/2 of it, cut it, and then flipped it and did the same one. So every banner, I got 2 of these. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And when you stamp this with love, it is really close. So I wanted to stick with this one stamp set, the crafting stamp set. So I didn't try to find something that was a little bit of a closer fit. So there you go. Sewing machine's done. My fabric, my button. I forgot to poke out my buttonhole before I stuck it on. So let me just do that before the glue is 100% dry. There. All right, so I've got my button. Right there. All right, so now the next side. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun doing this. Okay, so now you have your easel. So I've got my easel. And I popped that up but my dimensional shows, so I'm not going to pop it up here, but I'll pop the canvas up, I think. So let me go ahead and glue that down. Oh, one other thing. On my sewing table, I also cut that center leg out. See how this, I cut it right here. Cut that tab off. So it's more of a table and not an easel. All right, so let me add some glue to this. Again, just a dot, not a lot. And we'll put that down. I mean, this stamp set is just so clever. Oh my gosh, it's $1 million stamp set too. It was from Irene Wendlandt. She designed that and it's brilliant. It really is. So bravo. All right, so now for my canvas. You've got this flower stamp, which I think I put away, but you've got the flower stamp and it's got the leaves and the flowers. So I didn't want pink leaves and I don't want green flowers. So I stamped it in the Parakeet Party first, and then I stamped in the Melon Mambo, and I used the die cut to cut the flowers out, and then I just chop the leaves off. So now I can go just like that, and my painting is a little bit nicer. So let's put this right where it goes. Cover up my Parakeet Party flower. There, just like that. And then that can go right here. And you know what? I don't think I am gonna pop that up. I think I'll leave that flat. All right, one painting done. Now for the You Inspire Me, I cut a circle with the stitched stylish shapes, and so I stamped it with the Misty Moonlight. And then what I did was, let me just pick, I gotta grab the stamp. I think I put the stamp away by accident. Or actually, I've got it right here. Yep, right here. Okay, so I've got my Melon Mambo. And let's bring in my scrap. And what I'm gonna do, this color is way, way too dark, so I'm gonna stamp off 2 times, and then 1, 2, and then on the third one, go to the paper. Nice and light, isn't that nice? So that goes there. And close this up. I hope you guys aren't getting scared off by all the little doodads. It really is fun. And you know, you feel like you're making a masterpiece because there's just so many cute things you can do with this bundle. All right, so I have that, and then I have my little basket with the paintbrushes. So I've already got that. Just glued them on the back, kind of at an angle, and it's gonna go like that. And if you misalign a little bit, this is super easy to just trim. And there. Now nobody knows that I was off on my die cutting. And I'll just add a little bit of glue to my paint basket. Okay, this is coming all together really well. Just want to make sure my basket's straight. Okay, so now the next one, oh my gosh, this side is so cute. Okay, so there's a die that will cut you out a paper trimmer. There's not a stamp to it, it's just the die. So I have that, and then I have my scrap of paper that I'm going to put in my trimmer, okay, like that. Let me just add a little dab of glue. And down and under. Okay, like that. And then it also cuts out the little sliding mechanism of your paper trimmer. Let me see where that is. It's in here somewhere. I got a little bucket here that I already got started. All right, so it's right here. And I didn't want it gray because the cutting blade is black. So what I did was took my light basic black and colored it. And then, just to give it a little bit of dimension, I took a glue dot and kind of rolled it up into like a ball and put it on the back. And the ball will give it a little bit of height. And then I just stuck it on. Let me get this out of the way. Ha, it's crooked. Okay, there it goes. Oh my gosh, isn't that fantastic? And that whole thing is popped up. So let's put some dimensionals on that. Oops, I don't want it to show. And you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to, oh, I'll do it right there. There. Oh, what the heck, one more. All right. So we've got our paper trimmer done. And I just kind of had it at an angle. My fox is upside down. I think I'm going to turn it around this way and at an angle like that. So my fox isn't upside down. Isn't that neat? Oh my gosh. Okay, so then this part here is made with a scrap. And I already have it stamped for you. So, and then I use that little flower in here, this little flower, which is the same one that I did that, this here with. I did that on my tag in the night of, or Misty Moonlight. So let's glue that on. Okay, now, isn't that great? That looks so good. Okay, now, oh my gosh, the scissors are a hoot. So you cut out the scissors twice, once in the color of the blade and once in the color of the handle. All right, so I used Night of Navy and Smoky Slate. So what I'm going to do is make sure your handles are going the right way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my chick stand. My upline is Angie Judah, and she's Chicken Scratch, and she sells these chick stands, and I love it. So it's going to go, I'm going to poke where that hole is, but I'm going to poke the second part out because only the front had the hole. So I had to poke a hole in the back piece because I'm using a brad. And we sell the square and round brads and in black and white. So This actually is an ancient brad, and I will show you how ancient, and anybody that's been around Stampin' Up! A long time is gonna laugh. So, we used to have brads that came in colors. So this is not quite navy, I think rose red, old olive, and more mustard. So I still have mine, and I just colored it black with a Sharpie. So I'm gonna open it up on the back like that, make my scissors straight. So what you wanna do is have your little prongs behind one of the blades, because your scissors are going to open. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now for the handle. All right, so see how the scissors, the handle is going back like that. So I'm gonna take my snips and snip about there. And on the other side, about there. So then I'm going to just a dot, not a lot, remember. Very carefully. There we go. The little fine tip bottles, if you don't cover them right away, they tend to clog very easily. So just a little tip on that. All right, so now I'm gonna put my handle on, just matching it up, because remember I cut the same shape twice, so this is a perfect match over the top, if my fingers will work. All right, there we go. Let me position that, push that in. Slide that into place so my handles match up. There we go. Oh my gosh, I've got little paper snips. Oh my gosh. It's just so fun when it works out. All right, so see what I mean about the handles being dark against the dark background. So I just took a piece of scrap and put it down. So now my scissors have that little bit of dimension. And I think I popped that up. I didn't really need to. I'm not really sure why I did, but that's all right, it works. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to, let's see here, I'm gonna put a glue dot right there. And I'm gonna put it on my brad. The brad doesn't need to move, it's just the scissors need to move. So I'm gonna just place that down like that, and there you go. Anybody need their paper snipped? Oh my gosh. On the paper trimmer, I took another one and I actually used a brad here and I put this on top of it so it would slide. Okay, now for the last side. All right, so now we've got our embroidery hoop and our basket of yarn. So the basket of yarn is pretty easy. Just cut the basket out, it doesn't need to be stamped, and then the yarn. And I did want to show you over here, this is the same basket. What I did though is cut the handle off on this one, just so it looked like it wasn't the same basket. And we'll put that down. Put that with some glue and just put that down here in the corner. And then for the embroidery hoop, so I cut this twice. So once I got the whole thing was in crumb cake, even the circle, and then a second time is with the white. So what I have is, remember I made a whole bunch of these. So I have, oh my goodness, a lot of these. So I'm going to do something in there, and so I can reuse all this. So let's go ahead and put this down. I'm gonna put this here first. And I'm gonna just kind of slant it. I liked it at a slant. And then put my hoop on. And remember, just a dot, not a lot. The silicone mats are great because if you get extra on, you just let it dry and then wipe it off. It's excellent. All right, so there we go with that. Okay, now for the last piece, we've got, let me count my glue. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, and then move that out of the way. All right, so we got to make this piece. And to do that, there's a strip, and this strip is 4 by 1 3/8. Okay, and we have a new punch, and it is on page, let me show you because I've forgotten the name. So I want to make sure I tell you the right name for it. Oh, these are the bundle punches. Let's see. This one here, Elegant Edge Tag Topper. So that is on page 148 of your catalog. So what I did was, this is a 2-inch opening. And of course, my paper, I couldn't do a 2-inch, so I did 1 1/4, I think. And I just centered it the best I could in my, whoops, let's push it all the way in. So just like leaving about the same amount of space on each side. So I have that. And then I just turned it around and eyeballed it again. I don't get all fussy-bussy if it's not exact. And it is a handmade card. Isn't that neat? And then it just goes like that. And that's where you can do your writing. If you can spare giving up a card like this. Oh, but it's going to go to somebody extra special when you put that much work into it, right? All right. See? And there you have it. You have a crafting tower card made with love. You inspire me. Life is better when you're crafting, and sending you a handmade hug. So I do have a host code in May. I'll put it in the link to the description because I couldn't find my paper that had it written down. But I'll put it in the link. If you see anything that you'd like to order, I appreciate if you order at my online store. It's kathyschmitt.stampinup.net. If you use the host code at the end of the month, everyone that has used the host code will receive a special gift from me. If you have any questions, please email me backyardstamper@gmail.com. I really appreciate you watching tonight, and I hope you share the cards that you make when you make your tower card or with the crafting bundle. Take care. See you soon.